On the agenda tonight, we're going to be having a listen to Sir Paul McCartney singing Hey Jude on an Adidas commercial. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So the reason that I'm doing this video is because I couldn't believe what I was hearing, and we're going to be jumping straight into this pitch monitoring software on screen. To give a bit of background, currently the Euros are happening. It's a football tournament or soccer tournament if you're over in the USA, but this is in Europe and all the European countries compete for it, and we have a player for England called Jude Bellingham, hence the link to this song. But this is the advert that is currently on TV.
Hey Jude.
And I'm gonna stop it there because Sir Paul McCartney has been auto-tuned to within an inch of his life, and you can see here the A3 is absolutely stuck on that line of A440 standard pitch. It's not been given any opportunity to go away from that line, but have a listen to this again.
Hey Jude.
And listen on.
Don't make it bad. Take a side.
I mean, this sounds so bad. And I mean, the problem that I have is that my ears are so sensitive to A440. Like, when it's on a line, it just sounds weird, especially when it's on a line over and over and over again. Yeah, I laugh, but it's not really a laughing matter, that it is so badly done. Now, the thing is, I think that this is one of two things that have happened. First of all, it could be that it sounds like it's from a live performance, so the live performance could have been auto-tuned after the fact, and this is just, you know, what we have to deal with, that this is Sir Paul McCartney's vocal now, or like an Android version of his voice, or he was actually using auto-tune live. Now, I don't know if that were the case, and from what I've seen, you know, even really recently, I've heard Sir Paul McCartney singing live and he's not using auto-tune. So I'm starting to lean towards the fact that this most likely has been something that's been added on. You know, when I say for some reason, it's because, yeah, auto-tune and pitch correction is just being applied to everything nowadays. It's unbelievable, and this is why I've decided to make this video, because it's a brave new world that we live in with the music industry, that this kind of thing is going on. And you'd think that especially a song like Hey Jude would be safe from auto-tune or pitch correction, but nothing is safe nowadays. It's unbelievable. Let's just listen on to a bit
Take
more.
a sad song
Oh, wow.
and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart.
They need to feel this pain.
Then you can start.
They'll come.
And by the way, that's the voice of Gary Neville that you can hear just talking, because this is from an advert. So the isolation process has got Gary's voice in there as well.
Stronger.
To make it better.
Anyway, we know, having looked at, ironically, Sir Paul McCartney's voice when he was younger, we know that the best voices of all time and the most recognisable voices of all time never hit these lines all the time. But then when we're looking at this, there's no other option for this, because it's going to be snapped to them.
Anytime you feel the thing.
Oh, wow.
Hey Jude.
Oh, you can even hear it flipping.
Refrain. Don't carry the world upon your shoulder.
Oh, what is happening here?
Remember to let her under your skin.
No, yeah, ironically, the little bit of Sir Paul McCartney's voice that's made it through is the tiny bit of vibrato that, descends quite far. But it's just a tiny, tiny millisecond. As you can see how straight that line is, that it wasn't really a note. We're not really getting to hear any of Paul's voice here. Wow. Something that I do want to say is that somebody listening to this would quite, validly say, or have a high degree of validity to the statement if they said, I didn't realise Hey Jude was talkbox. Talkbox is when you play either a guitar or a keyboard, you have a tube in your mouth and it plays the sound of the notes into your mouth and then you mouth the words and it sounds like this. But this isn't talkbox, this is auto-tune. But people hearing this might think that Hey Jude, released back in the 1960s, was one of the first uses of talkbox because they're hearing this.
To make it better. Falls for Bellingham. Bellingham has a goal!
And did you hear that? Ladies and gentlemen, the auto-tune snapped Paul's voice to the wrong note. Listen to this again. And this, by the way, let's just put this in perspective. This is on an Adidas advert that's running nationwide between the football games. They haven't noticed that the auto-tune's doing it wrong. Na 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 na. It did that. Let's listen to it in slow motion. You'll be able to hear it. No. So that is the wrong note. But because it's auto-tune, it's automatically just finding the line. Even if it's wrong, it will still snap it to one of these lines. As you can see, everything's getting snapped. It even sounded like it wanted to do it there.
Judy, don't let me down!
And then this was an actual bit of the real vocal. So you could argue, well, why didn't you auto-tune that? So here we go. This means that this wasn't a live performance where Sir Paul was using auto-tune. This is a live performance where auto-tune has been applied after the fact. Because it would have tried to snap this to a line, but you can see how random it is that. And you can hear it in Sir Paul's voice as well.
Judy, don't let me down!
Yeah, it's just kind of going all over the place at the end here as well. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing so much at this because it is quite depressing. But just how stupid it sounds when you snap somebody's voice this severely. Na 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 na. Obviously, me trying to imitate auto-tune, I'm never going to get it to sound as ridiculous because I am using vocal cords that can't do this. It has to be digitally manipulated to achieve this kind of sound. But anyway, I thought that I'd make this video because, first of all, I know that I'm laughing and it sounds ridiculous, and yeah, this is something that people have listened to and passed. I'm assuming a producer at some point has listened to this and gone, oh yeah, that's fine, that it's snapping it to the wrong note. We'll release that for the Adidas advert to have the soundtrack on. That'll be absolutely fine. So I'm questioning whether people's ears are working. Because if I can spot this, why can't other people? And it might just be the fact that people's ears just aren't working very well. In the industry, that they can't hear this kind of thing. No, they can't hear that happening. So they've said, oh yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's exactly what Sir Paul McCartney sounds like. So we'll get that mix done. Let's release it for the advert. Everything's fine. So I know that, yeah, I am isolating the vocal, but when you record something or anything, you have to listen to it before you release it. At the very minimum, you know, when you're working on a song or any release, even if it's a live performance and you're mixing it and, you know, you might get it mastered as well, you listen to it multiple times with fresh ears. You go away for a day or two, come back, listen to your mix, and you'd be able to tell straight away that when you're working at this vocal, that it's wrong. Now, you should be able to hear this if you've got a job in music. But anyway, even if the only other excuse for this is that they are so lazy, they're just applying auto-tune to it and not even listening to the result. And that's a risky way to do business when you're not listening to the result and you're in music, especially in music production. You want to hear what it's going to sound like before you release it. You know, I don't get this on any level, really. First of all, why it's been done in the first place. Second of all, why they haven't used pitch correction instead of auto-tune to make it more subtle. And thirdly, yeah, why it's made it this far to being on an advert for a massive company and it's being shown on TV all the time and nobody spotted it. But then why it's even happening in the first place. That, you know, if you didn't want to take a live performance from, you know, Sir Paul McCartney, they could have taken the original song and just had that in the background. But did they want to try and make it sound, you know, more modern by using auto-tune because that's what everyone's using nowadays, and, you know, pitch correction? But yeah, I would say that even bands who are using auto-tune aren't really using it this badly. Yeah, they're still checking what they're doing before they're releasing it to make sure that their voice is on the notes all the time. I don't know whether Sir Paul McCartney's given his permission to do this, or you know, knows that it's happening, but voices that you know are now not those voices anymore. Even though they are the person's voice, it's now going to be a digital version of their voice that is now, you know, stuck to these lines. So yeah, it's just a real shame that it's gone this far, really, that not even, and this song is just in the background of the advert. It's not, you know, really important to be on these lines all the time, because it's just the background song for, you know, all the commentary that's going on and the people cheering and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I mean, a bit of a depressing video for tonight, in all honesty, with a realization of exactly what's going on in the modern day music industry, that even voices like this aren't safe from being heavily edited and just snapped to these lines. So I mean, regardless of the depressing nature of the video, if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And keep those suggestions and requests coming for future analysis videos in the comment section below, as well as letting me know what you guys think about all of this. And yeah, we'll see what you guys have to say, but I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!